Hello and welcome to Sunflower Cottage Crochet. Today I'm going to be showing you how to work this blanket strip. It's my strip 2 in the Adventure Blanket Crochet Along. If you want to know more about that, please click the link in the description. You can find out more. There is also an ebook with all 10 of my strips plus 10 from Christine at Ambassador Crochet and 5 bonus strips, so you get 25 strips for one amazingly low price if you would like to check out the bundle. Otherwise, check out the roundup post and work the cowl with us. So this strip here is another beautifully textured, very different from the first strip that I showed you the other day, which is this zigzag strip. So this one uses cross double crochets. It uses back loop only and front post and back post stitches. So I'm going to go through each of those with you in a fair amount of detail during this video. So if you're a beginner, you should be able to keep up with us. It's very pretty, isn't it? Shall we crack on and start working it? So I'm just going to work a sample size, which I think is going to end up being a washcloth for me. But if you followed with part 1 of the cowl, you'll know that each strip is 200 stitches wide. So if you're using this as a first strip, be sure to chain 202 or foundation half double crochet 200 stitches. If you're chaining, you're going to need to half double crochet in the 3rd stitch from your hook. If this is being added onto your blanket, you're going to half double crochet into your 1st stitch and each stitch across. So just to show you what a half double crochet looks like, we will yarn over, insert our hook into that next stitch, yarn over and pull through. So we've got 3 loops on our hook, and we'll yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And we do that for each chain across or each stitch across. So by the time you're finished, you will have 200 half double crochet stitches. And I will meet you at the end of this row. So we've got our first row, which is a half double crochet row worked up. Then what we need to do is chain 1 and turn, and we're going to repeat the previous row. So we're going to work a half double crochet in each stitch across. And I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay, so now we have 2 half double crochets rows worked. Now the fun begins with our first row of cross double crochets. So to work this row, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and I'm actually going to come in just a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to double crochet in the 1st stitch. So we'll wrap our yarn, insert our hook into that 1st stitch, wrap our yarn, pull through, wrap our yarn, pull through 2. So we've got 2 loops on our hook, and wrap our yarn and pull through 2. And we're going to cross stitch all the way across until we've got 1 stitch remaining. So to work a cross stitch, we actually worked across 2 stitches. So we're going to skip this 1st stitch, and we're going to work a double crochet in US terms, it's a treble in UK terms, into this 2nd stitch here. So we'll yarn over, insert our hook into that 2nd stitch, yarn over and pull through. So we've got 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 2 loops in our hook, so we're left with 2, and yarn over, pull through 2, and then we're going to work a double crochet into this skipped stitch here. So we're going to yarn over. I'm going to go in behind this one that I've just made, so my stitch is going to go behind, behind, out the front, and then through the front and back loops of that missed stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that is our first crossed double crochet made. So we'll follow that again. We're going to skip this next stitch and we're going to double crochet into the stitch next to it. And then working behind this stitch that we've just created, we're going to work a double crochet into this skipped stitch. So we'll go in behind and then work into that stitch. And that was the stitch we've worked. So then we're going to skip this stitch and work a double crochet into that stitch. And then work a double crochet into the stitch that we've just skipped. So you can see that I've actually pulled the first double crochet out the way. I haven't worked over it at all. So then we'll skip the next stitch and we'll work a double crochet into the next stitch. And then we'll work a double crochet into the stitch that we've just missed. And we'll do that all the way along until we've got 1 stitch remaining. So I've now got 1 stitch remaining and I'm going to double crochet into that last stitch. So by the time you finish this row, you should have 99 cross double crochet stitches and a double crochet at each end, which should bring the total to 200 stitches. And then we will chain 1 and turn. So for row 4, this is another easy row. We're going to half double crochet in the first stitch and every stitch across. So for the half double crochet, we'll wrap our yarn, insert your hook into the next stitch, wrap your yarn, pull through 3 loops on your hook, wrap your yarn, pull through all 3 loops. And we're going to do that in each stitch all the way across. So you will end up with 200 half double crochets by the time you finish this row. And I'll meet you back here for row 5. Okay, so this is what we're looking at so far. So this is the end of row 4. To start row 5, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now remember, all of the odd numbered rows in this cowl are the front of your work and all of the even numbered rows are the back. So we're on to number 5. So this is our front, our right side. So we've chained 1, we've turned. Now what we're going to do is half double crochet in the back loop only of each stitch across. So when you're looking at your work, if you tilt it so you can see these V shapes on the top, you look at it as you're looking at it, you have your front loop and your back loop. So we're only going to be working into the back loop. We're not going to be touching this front loop. Ordinarily we would go through both of them so they would both end up on your hook, but we're not doing that in this instance. So we'll yarn over, you'll insert your hook into that back loop only, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, and then you'll yarn over and pull through all 3 loops and work your half double crochet that way. So we'll do that again. We'll yarn over, we're looking for this back loop here, not the front loop. We're going to insert our hook into that back loop only, wrap our yarn, pull through for 3 loops on our hook, and wrap our yarn and pull through all 3 loops. And we're going to do that all the way across the row, so you will end up with 200 half double crochet back loop only stitches. And you can see what that does. It creates this little ridge that gives the nice separation that we've got in this section between the stitch combinations. So I'll meet you back here at the end of this row. Remember, we're half double crocheting, back loop only, all the way across. Okay, this is what row 5 looks like. So for row 6, if I just grab my blanket again, this is where this pretty texture is going to come into play. So we've done cross double crochets, we've worked back loop only. Now we're going to work front post and back post. It's not difficult. You just need to know which part of the stitch is the post. And I'm going to explain that to you now. So to start row 6, we're going to chain 1, turn, and we're going to single crochet in this first stitch. Now when it comes to your stitches, you have your loops on the top. Usually we'll go through both of them when we work a stitch. Sometimes we go through just the front, sometimes we go through just the back. But they are the loops. We don't want to touch them for the front post and the back post. The posts are actually the bits that make the stitches stand up. So they're the vertical sections of the stitch, not the horizontal. So we need to front post double crochet the next stitch. So we've worked the first stitch. So the next stitch, we need to wrap our yarn. Now remember, we worked half double crochets, so the posts are fairly small. They're just underneath this third loop here, which is the loop that kind of invades your space a little bit when you're trying to find the posts. So we've wrapped our yarn, we find the post for this next stitch, we insert our hook from the front around the back and right out the front again of that post, so the post is over our hook. Then we'll wrap our yarn and pull it through, and wrap our yarn, pull through 2, so we're left with 2 loops on our hook, wrap our yarn and pull through 2. So that's a front post. Then we need to work a back post double crochet in the next stitch. It's the same principle, except instead of going from the front and hooking that post that way, we're actually going to go in from the back, around the front and out the back again. So we'll wrap our yarn around our hook, insert our hook from the back, round the front of that post and out of the back again, so you can see the post is wrapped around the hook. Wrap yarn and pull through, and then we'll wrap our yarn, pull through 2, wrap our yarn and pull through 2. and we're going to follow that all the way along. So we'll do a front post double crochet, back post double crochet in the next stitch, front post double crochet in the next stitch, back post double crochet in the next stitch, all the way along until you have one stitch remaining. So I'll work a few more of these with you. So we've worked a front and a back, so now we need to do a front post double crochet again. So I've wrapped my yarn, I'll insert my hook from the front to the back and right out the front again of the next post, wrap my yarn and pull through, wrap my yarn, pull through two, wrap my yarn, pull through two, and then a back post, wrap my yarn from the back to the front and out of the back again, wrap my yarn and pull through, wrap my yarn, pull through two, wrap my yarn and pull through two. And we're going to do that all the way along, alternating between that front post and the back post double crochets. And then we'll finish the row with a back post because we started with a front post, and I've got one stitch left. So then we're going to single crochet into that last stitch, and that is what our row 6 is looking like. So at the end of this row you'll have 2 single crochets, one on each end, and you'll have 99 front post double crochets and 99 back post double crochets. So when we turn chain 1, and turn our work, you can see how that texture coupled with that back loop only row is really starting to pop out. So for row 7 we need to single crochet in this first stitch. Now on row 6 we started with a front post, so for row 7 we're going to start with a back post double crochet. So we'll wrap our yarn, insert our hook around that post, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, and then we'll work a front post in the one that looks like a back post. So we'll yarn over from the front to the back and out of the front again, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, and we'll do that all the way along this row. So we'll alternate back post, front post, back post, front post, back post, front post, all the way along until you have one stitch remaining. And then in that very last stitch I'm going to single crochet, and then what we need to do is repeat rows 6 and 7 3 more times. So for row 6 you will turn chain 1, single crochet in the first stitch, then you'll front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, all the way across, remembering to single crochet in that very last stitch. Row 7 we'll chain 1, turn, we will back post double crochet in the first stitch, front post double crochet in the second, back post, front post, back post, front post, back post, front post, all the way across, and we'll end with a front post and a single crochet in that final stitch. So repeat those 2 rows 3 more times for both of them, so you'll have an extra 6 rows, and I'll meet you back here once you've done that. So this is what your blanket strip will look like at the end of row 13. So row 14, we're going to start to mirror image this bottom section. So what we need to do is chain 1 and turn, and we're going to half double crochet or half treble crochet if you're in the UK in each stitch across. So just as a reminder, yarn over, insert your hook into that first stitch, yarn over, pull through 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And we're going to do that for each stitch across, so you will have 200 half double crochet stitches by the end of the row. And then when we get to the end of the row, we will chain 1 and turn, and row 15 is a right side row, so the front of your work should be facing you. You can tell the front from the back fairly easily because of this ridge section that we created. So we're going to mirror that ridge now with row 15. So we're going to half double crochet in the back loop only. So remember, when we turn our work and we've got these V's on the top, we're not working into the front loop, we're only working into the back loop. So we're going to wrap our yarn, insert our hook into that back loop only, wrap our yarn and pull through, and then wrap our yarn and pull through all 3 loops in our hook. And we're going to do that all the way across the row. So that it creates the mirror image of the ridge from further down in row 5. And there is row 5 completed, and you can see that ridge taking shape. Sorry, row 15 completed, and you can see that ridge taking shape. So for row 16, we're actually going to repeat row 3, which was our cross double crochet row. So to work row 16, as I say, we're literally repeating row 3. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to double crochet in this first stitch, and then we are going to skip the next stitch and double crochet into the next stitch, and then working behind the stitch that we've just made, we're going to work a double crochet into this skipped stitch. So we'll wrap our yarn, being careful not to tangle up the stitch that we've just made. We'll insert our hook into that skipped stitch and work a double crochet. And then we'll skip the next stitch and we'll work a double crochet into the next stitch. And then we'll go back and we'll work a double crochet into the stitch we've just skipped. And then we'll skip the next stitch and we'll work a double crochet into the next stitch, and we'll double crochet into the skipped stitch. And we're going to do that all the way along until we get to the last stitch, and then we're just going to pop a double crochet in that last stitch. And then double crochet into that very last stitch. And then that's row 16 completed. So when we turn it over for the right side row, this is what we're seeing. Row 17 is an easy one. We're going to chain 1 and turn if you haven't already, and then we're simply going to half double crochet in each stitch across. And that is row 17 completed. Now we have one final row to finish this blanket strip, and it's just a repeat of row 17. So we're going to chain 1, turn and half double crochet in each stitch across, just to finish mirroring how we started this strip. It'll give it a nice uniform appearance. And then you can fasten off and weave in your ends. I do hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial and this blanket strip. If you have, be sure to check out the cowl if you haven't already. All of the links are in the description, and I hope to see you soon. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I'd hope you consider it. But take care and have an awesome day. Bye.